As you all probably know by now, the Equality Court ruled yesterday that the use of the old South African flag in any way, shape or form is and will be treated as hate speech. Now, this has some huge implications that I doubt most people will even contemplate. Let me tell you what happens in this country when someone is found guilty of so-called hate speech. In the case of Vicky Momberg, who used an unsavory word a number of times, she received a 2-year prison sentence. Her use of the K word was regarded as a crime of hate speech. Now, the act of displaying the old South African flag in any way, shape or form is regarded as the same crime, namely hate speech. I don't think I need to tell you that as it is the same crime under the law, it stands to reason that anyone who displays their old flag can and probably will receive the same sentence. Here's where I have to ask the question. Are we going to sit back and take this crap and more on a daily basis? Have we been reduced to such a pathetic bunch of pussies that we are going to take this lying down like a bunch of prostitute whores? Do we have so little pride left in us that we are willing to let this communist government keep taking away everything that means anything to us, one thing at a time, without putting up a fight? What have we become if we are willing to tolerate this? Some of you might have watched the video that Dan Root put out yesterday on his YouTube channel, Prague. I was probably one of the first people to view it and was the first to comment on it. I urge everyone to go and watch Dan's very short video on this subject. I want to repeat here what Dan said in his video. This court case was brought on by the Nelson Mandela Foundation. As Dan says, who are the Nelson Mandela Foundation to declare a flag that literally came here with Jan van Riebeeck as hate speech? What gives them the authority and the right to do something like that? Dan also went on to say that the ANC has to be the most successful terrorist organization the world has ever seen. The ANC gained power in South Africa by nothing other than terror and terrorist attacks. Not only that, but once they gained power, they literally stripped this country to the bone, and through corruption and plain theft on a scale this world have never seen before, have left this country on its knees, breathing its last breath before dying. He also said, and I agree with him, that what is happening here is far worse than the French Revolution, the Russian Revolution, or any other revolution in history, because they are not only plundering the existing assets of the country, by the time they are done, this country will still owe 10 trillion rand. This is money that was never even there to begin with. They borrowed it to steal it. That debt will now be unloaded on the taxpayers in this country. That is you and I. It is now time for us to draw the line in the sand. Why should we be forced to distance ourselves from our history, from our culture, and everything that makes us South Africans? This applies even more if you are Afrikaans speaking. It is highly likely that soon, even mentioning the 1820 settlers or Jan van Riebeeck will also be declared hate speech. I am totally fed up, and you should be too, with this government of thieves and terrorists who took power by a process of terrorism, nothing else. We should come up in protest against the constant ethno-cultural war being waged against the Afrikaner people, against their language and against our culture. I say our culture because although I am English speaking, my roots run just as deep here as most Afrikaans speaking people in South Africa. First we had a war of terrorism fought against us, and now we face an ethno-cultural war. We have had enough of their communist terrorist logic, of their communist flag. We have had enough of their thievery, and we have had enough of being ruled by a bunch of incompetent, corrupt communist thieves. From now on, we will gather under our own flag, our own language, and our own history. As a side note, anyone who has studied the subject of genocide, the various stages of genocide, and the process that leads to genocide will recognize that this is it. This is very close to the final stages of the build-up to a full-blown genocide. Only a fool would look at the facts and still deny this now. This is our final stand, people. This is your last chance. Time is running out. I'm going to echo what Dan suggested in his video, and that is for all of us to go out and buy spray cans of orange, white and blue paint, tins of paint and brushes, whatever, and go and paint the country orange, white and blue. Just like what happened in the Northern Transvaal a few years ago. This has to come to an end now. Please like and share this video on as many other social media platforms as possible. If you are not subscribed to my channel yet, click on the subscribe button now. While you are there, click on the bell icon to get notified whenever I upload new content. If you would like to support my channel, I have provided ways in which local as well as international subscribers can make a contribution. If you would like to make a crypto contribution, I have provided a Bitcoin as well as a Litecoin address. To those that do support my channel, I say a huge thank you. Be careful out there. Until next time.